Hello there, all you amazing people. This is a little fast one here because I want to draw in a point, and I just want to see you guys go nuts in the comment section for my entertainment about this. But first, subscribe, like, comment, go on my Discord, give me suggestions for new videos on my Discord channel, and there's a 9% chance I will do it for you. So do all of those thingies there. But first, a lot of people talking about the Steam Deck and, you know, Proton, the Steam Deck. They're like, yeah, Valve really love open source. Valve is really good with open source. And you go in, you look at their Proton software, where they basically just got the open source community to develop all this shit for them. And you can see here, there's actually proprietary, you know, bits and bobs put into it. I'm going to show you why Valve don't care a shit at all about open source. This is Steam. This is their money maker. This is like, this thing here is where the rubber meets the road. If they really cared about open source, like a lot of Linux people say they do, this here would be open source. Not just things that they need to be open source, like SteamOS. Why is SteamOS open source for Valve? Well, today it's based on Arch Linux. Had they been able to take Arch Linux and why the fuck has it downloaded? What the fuck is that? Yeah, delete that shit. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck happened there. This is the only reason why SteamOS is open source, because it's based on Arch Linux. They have to have it open source. The only reason why Proton is open source, well, it's because they're using Wine, Codeweaver's, you know, libraries and stuff like that. It has to be open source. And again, they're still putting their own proprietary bits and boops in there. There is no reason why the Steam Deck should, or the Steam in of itself should not be open source. If they really cared about open source, like you guys say they do, this should be, like, the Steam should be open source. This should be open source. If Valve is really an open source company that likes open source and FOSS, which is kind of the same to some degree, they will make Steam open source. Why are they not doing it? Because then they can be out-competed. It will give Epic and all the other eggheads in the gaming industry, they will basically give away all their secrets. They will give away a lot of shit that they have a competitive edge on if they open source it, because this is their money maker. This is what really matters. They are not making money on Proton. They're probably losing money. They probably are not even making money on the Steam Deck. Like, they're probably making money from gaming sales on the Steam Deck, but just like with, you know, consoles and stuff like that, Sony and Xbox or Microsoft, they lose money every time you buy an Xbox. Valve is probably losing money every time you buy a Steam Deck. The one that they're actually making money on, that is company dependent, is closed source. Just like parts of Proton is closed source because they don't have to open source it. Valve don't give a fuck about FOSS. Valve is not a Linux friend. Valve is worse than Microsoft. I have videos about this that you can go read, but what you do in here, this thing here takes more personal data and telemetry than Windows do. Way more than Windows do. And every game you buy in here, you don't own. Steam can say tomorrow, they probably won't, but they can say tomorrow, fuck you all, we have more money than God, you can't have access to any of your games anymore. Or you have to rebuy them if they're over 10 years old or something like that. Because we want to save space on our servers. There are games that you can't buy anymore because, you know, they got shut down or something like that. If you have it in the library, you can still download them, but they're not accessible on the Steam store. I think, what game is it? Like Deadpool? Again, if I could actually spell. Yeah, there used to be a game that came out like 10-ish years ago or something like that, or maybe even older than that, that's called Deadpool. I have that in my library. I can download, I have still access to it, but it got taken down on the Steam store. For some reason or another, I can't remember why. They can say, oh, well, if it's not on the Steam store, you can't get it anymore. It's not yours anymore. Valve is not your friend. No company is your friend. They just pretend to be your friend because it's benefiting them. Valve is only doing Arch Linux and therefore open sourcing what they do with Arch Linux because it's benefiting them financially. Just like with Proton. They could either develop a compatibility layer all of themselves, or they could pay a few developers and using a lot of free work that the community have done and save a shit ton of money. What would you go with? Well, I would take other people's work and then maybe pay them a little minute fucking little thing compared to what it will cost us to make our own compatibility layer. They probably saved hundreds of thousands of dollars by using Wine. And they probably have not only spent, let me put it this way, they probably only put 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10% of the money it will cost them to build their own compatibility layer back into open source by paying developers or funding a project and stuff like that. It's all financial. Because if they really cared about open source, this would be open source. Their storefront would be open source. They don't care. They only care because it's benefiting them. The day that it's not benefiting to care, they will not do it anymore. Now I've angry a lot of you guys and girls. Go nuts in the comment section. Remember to give me a like. Remember to subscribe. Remember to go onto my Discord and suggest video subjects that we can talk about. But if you think Valve is a friend of FOSS, you are fooling yourself. See you all later. Bye bye.